Hi guys, it's Mindy and I am here to do the 15 things you probably don't know about me tag. Um, I've seen a lot of people doing them and a couple people have asked me if I'm going to do one. And honestly, I had a hard time with it because I'm kind of an open book. So I don't have a lot of secrets and I just did the Ask Me Anything tag, which I told a lot about my life there. So I had a hard time. It took me a couple days. But I wrote them all down in my handy dandy journal. Um, so here's my list. Um, Number one, it's like a cardinal fat girl sin, but I don't like pie or cake. Every once in a while I get an urge for a piece of cake. But not very often, and I don't like pie at all. I like cheesecake, which is technically neither cake nor pie, but that's I like cookies, but I don't like cake or pie. Number two, my eyes used to be dark brown, and they've always changed a little bit with my mood, but they were essentially dark brown, and now they're hazel. And I don't know when it really changed. I just kind of noticed it a little while ago. And so yeah, now and then I looked it up because it kind of freaked me out. And apparently, about 20% of all light-skinned people, like me, I'm white as white can be, about 20% of light-skinned people over the course of their adult life, their eyes will lighten. So that's kind of cool, it's actually kind of nice because I've always hated I always thought my eyes were ugly brown, and they're kind of cool looking these days. I'm going to try to take pictures and see if I can put them in to show you. No guarantees. Okay, number three. When I was 17, I went to a psychic, and she told me that I was going to die when I was 29, and my friend at the time was kind of like my on-again, off-again boyfriend, Justin, was going to kill me. And it freaked him out so bad that he stopped talking to me. So she actually told me quite a few things. She told me that I would have a hard time conceiving, which was true. That I would lose pregnancies, which was true. I've had 2 miscarriages. And then she said I would end up with a girl and twin boys. So I have a girl. Who knows? Twins might be in the way. That would kind of be awesome, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. But she was right about a lot of stuff. She wasn't right about that, though, because I'm 35. I'm almost 36. Number 4, the day before my wedding, I tried to talk Sean into backing out. I got scared. I got cold feet hardcore, and I wanted to cancel the wedding, and he wouldn't do it because he was afraid of my dad. I mean, he really wanted to get married too. I mean, he was all about it. But I think it was like he honestly was scared of my dad. But I'm glad he didn't. I mean, I'm glad we didn't, because today is our 11th wedding anniversary. So it's a good thing I didn't cancel. Number 5, I like playing Words with Friends against people who challenge me. I would rather lose a game against a really good player than win a game against somebody who's, I don't want to say a bad player, but there's some people who are just better at that than others. And so I like to win. I'm very competitive. But it's more fun to lose when I'm really trying, and they're just better than I am. I don't know. That's weird. I know that's weird. Number 6. I used to hate to wear socks and shoes. I was always barefoot. And it used to be that I couldn't sleep with socks on my feet. And if I fell asleep with socks on, I would kick them off as soon as I was asleep. But I don't know, the last few years, the older I get, the more I seem to like to wear socks. And I can sleep through the night with them now. So I don't know why that changed. Number 7, until I was about 10 years old, I only knew one person named Sean, and that was my cousin. And then I met some people at school named Sean. Now, my husband's name, I have my cousin Sean, obviously. My husband's name is Sean. One of my very best friends is named Sean. And I honestly know about 10 people named Sean, and 2 of them are female Seans. Okay, number 8. When I was little, I didn't just have an imaginary friend. I had a whole imaginary family. And when I would get mad, I mean little, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I would get mad at my family, my mom and dad and stuff, I would tell them I was going to live with my other family. And I remember details, and it's really interesting. Like, I have a crazy mad imagination. Number 9, I love to paint. I'm not very good at painting, and I like I took a watercolor class, which was really cool. And then so I like to paint pictures, but I'm horrible. And I like to paint ceramics and do like wood projects with paint and stuff like that. I'm not very good at it, but I love it. It's very relaxing, and I don't know, it's just fun. Number 10. When I was younger, I went skydiving 4 times, and I absolutely loved it. And I would love to go again, but I am way over the weight limit right now. So one of my goals, I guess it would be more like a reward, when I get under 250 pounds, because that's the weight limit, I'm going skydiving again. Sean is going to stay on the ground and watch me, because he is afraid to fly. He's afraid of heights, deathly afraid of heights. So I can't wait to go again. Okay, number 11. I collect dragons. I love all things dragon. I was born in the year of the dragon, and it pretty much suits me to a T, the personality that goes with the dragons. I like more of like the English fairy tale dragons more than the Chinese dragons, but I love the Chinese ones too. And my tattoo on the back of my neck is actually the Japanese symbol for dragon. So I love dragons. Number 12. I love tea, which I mentioned before. I know that's not a new thing, but I like all kinds of tea, and I like to make different drinks with tea. One of them is in the mornings. A lot of mornings I start with my big tea mug, and I put a black tea and a green tea in together, and it kind of, the mellow of the green and the sharpness of the black, it kind of they just blend really good, I think. And then I drink green tea with orange juice in it, and I call it a Min, like my name, M-I-N, Minmosa. And I've been doing that for like 20 years. I was drinking green tea a long time before almost everyone I know drinks green tea now. But when I started drinking it 20 years ago, almost nobody I knew drank it, which is kind of funny. I was green tea cool before green tea was cool in Ohio. Number 13 is I am forever making up stories in my head. I will daydream and just like make up a story, but I almost never write them down, and when I do start to write them down, I generally never finish them, and that's one of the things about myself I would like to work on changing, because I just don't have enough follow through. And I've always wanted to be a published author. I've been published in like a few little literary magazines for poetry, but I've never had a story published. And I would really, really love to write a novel. And I have the creativity, it's just the follow through. Horrible, it's horrible. Okay. Number 14, I am completely weird in like as a woman who does not like or collect shoes. I think, I only wear shoes because I have to, and I want them to be comfortable. I don't care what they look like so much. I have not one pair of dress shoes. I have not one pair of heels. And I don't like to go shoe shopping. I really hate it. because I have Flintstone feet, which is, they're really short, but they're real fat. So girl shoes don't generally fit me very well. And so I just don't, I don't know. And I hate to wear dress shoes, period. I would wear sandals all year long if it was warm enough, or tennis shoes. Okay, and number 15 is, it's kind of my, you know, my love story moment, I guess. When Sean and I started dating, and then we broke up. And we had been broken up about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I went out one night, and I was out really, really, really late, or really, really, really early. And I, you know, stumbled home and passed out in my bed. And a couple hours later, it was late. I didn't get home until probably almost 6 o'clock in the morning. And a couple hours later, the phone rang. And I was half asleep, and I answered the phone, and it was Sean. And so he starts talking to me, and he tells me that he met somebody, and he wants to know how he can get a visa. And I was half asleep, and I thought he was talking about a credit card. And I was like, well, you just go online and apply for it. And he said, where? Like immigration? And so I'm still half asleep, and it took me like 3 minutes for me to realize, for me to get that he was talking about a green card visa. So finally I'm like, oh, you know, I don't know, you know, I think the easiest way is for you to marry somebody and marry an American. And he's like, oh. I said, is she American? And he's like, yeah, she is. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm half asleep, and I'm starting to get upset. And I was like, so you met somebody? And he's like, yeah, you know her. And then I was mad because Sean and I met through a mutual friend named Jess. And I thought he and Jess were getting together. And so I was really like, oh my God. And it took me forever and a day to realize that he was talking about me, that he wanted to come and move to he's from Canada. He wanted to move to the United States to be with me, and it was me that he was in love with. And I totally, it went right over my head. I was half asleep and still a little inebriated, so, in my defense. But it took forever. And then finally I was like, oh my God, you're talking about me. And he's like, yeah, you need to go back to sleep and call me when you wake up. So I was like, okay, bye. And I hung up. And then I went back to sleep. And I thought that I dreamed the whole thing. I got up, and I went down, and I was living with my mom and dad at that point. And I went downstairs. I was like, I had this crazy dream. And my mom was like, well, what'd you dream about? And so I told her, and she said, well, you know, you really did talk to Sean. He called. And I was like, no. And I didn't believe her. I had to look at the caller ID. And then I called him, and I was like, did we talk? So yeah, I almost completely just botched my whole relationship because it was crazy. So yeah, we ended up getting married like 3 months later, and today is our 11th anniversary. So it's kind of my crazy love story. So that's my 15 things. Some of you might have known some of them. I don't think anybody knew all of them. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day. Bye.